Super Bowl 58 is under wraps, and the Kansas City Chiefs go back-to-back, defeating those San Francisco 49ers 25-22. Let's talk about how close the Dallas Cowboys actually are to maybe playing in a Super Bowl.
Prescott, touchdown. Throw, looking middle, sacked again by Parsons again. CeeDee Lamb, was he down? They say no for now, and he's into the end zone.
Welcome back, and if it's your first time here, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more Cowboys content. I'm going to be here all offseason long, but man, the end of another football season. And it obviously a little sad, right? And it's going to be a few months before we get back into it. But, I mean, if you're tuned in, you know the NFL Combine, the NFL Draft is just right around the corner. Schedule release is in May. So, actually, a lot of things are about to happen. And, you know, free agency starts in March. So, a little bit of a breather before we actually jump in and see how this team is going to be going. But initial thoughts, comment down below what you thought about the Super Bowl. I thought it was probably one of the most entertaining Super Bowls that we have had. There's no denying that Mahomes is the best quarterback in the National Football League. And you guys know me. You guys saw my NFL pick. I could never choose to, you know, I would never choose the 49ers to win this game. You just can't. You know, if you are a true Cowboys fan, you could not cheer for the 49ers getting that sixth ring. It would be, and you know what? I'm glad that they lost in the way that they did, overtime loss. And, you know, the Kansas City Chiefs, man, they're talented, man. I mean, everything's clicking for them from the top, from the bottom, from the players to the coaches to the organization. And this is where we come to this point of the video where, as a fan, you're sitting there, as a football fan, you're enjoying the game. It's a great game. It's a great time. The Super Bowl is amazing. But at one point, like myself, I know you sat there and you thought, what if the Dallas Cowboys were here instead? You know, like just the little things, right? Just seeing them run onto the field, seeing them wear that jersey with the Super Bowl patch, seeing all of it, right? And you wonder that. You sit there and as a Cowboys fan, can we get back to this place? And I'm going to let you guys know something. I'm 27 years old, meaning if you're doing the math, I've never seen the Dallas Cowboys win a Super Bowl, let alone play in a Super Bowl, let alone play in an NFC Championship game. So if you're ever questioning my fanhood, look, I know what I signed up for. I knew well enough to know what I was getting into cheering for the Dallas Cowboys. Not winning since 95. I was born in 96. And you sit there and you wonder, man, this is such a great game, but can our boys ever get back to this place? And that's a tough question, and I've been asking that. I've been asking myself that for the past 17 years, probably since I started watching this team. I think I was about 5 or 6, so I've been asking that question for 22, 23 years. And you know what? We're kidding ourselves if we're saying that, oh, you know, we were close. No, you know, we haven't even got past the divisional round. But here's the thing, you know, the Chiefs are the benchmark. You know, you can't really argue with that because they just won the Super Bowl. They just went back-to-back, and they won it. I mean, it was a complete team effort. And watching that Super Bowl, it was actually funny because I'm sitting there and I'm like, wow, what an incredible play. Oh, my God. Mahomes is incredible. What a catch. These receivers, this defense, oh, they got the stop that they needed. This defense, the team, the special teams, that the coaches are calling the right things, putting their players in the best position. The Chiefs did it all. And I just kept saying to myself, the Cowboys could never. And they couldn't. They would never. I mean, Mahomes made a play when he needed to, and I'm not going to disrespect Dak, but, you know, it's hard to see Dak making plays like that the same way Mahomes did. And you know what? You know, or the coaches, you know, man, Reed called that incredible play. I can't say the same or have the same confidence that Mike would do the same thing. Or, man, that defense, Steve Spagnuolo calling the right blitz at the right time. I can't have that same confidence that Dan Quinn was going to do it. And now, you know, I don't have confidence that maybe Mike Zimmer will do it now. And it's just, you know, it's, I'll say this. The Cowboys are not even close to getting to a Super Bowl. That's the cold-hearted truth, and that's your unbiased and realistic truth about the Dallas Cowboys. If you think we're close And if you're feeding into this, if you're taking in this propaganda that the Cowboys are going to try feeding you for the next few months, saying we're going to run it back, we're only a couple players away, we're only a couple of games away, it is just flat out not the truth. The Cowboys aren't even close. You look at what the Chiefs did in that Super Bowl game. Their defense made plays when they were needed to. The defense got stops when they needed to. They're pivotal players. They're the players that they pay so much. They made, the right plays at the right time, and it all came together at the right time. And, and it's just not, I'm just not singling out the Cowboys. I know I'm a content creator for the Cowboys, but it's really hard to do that. And the Chiefs, they've done it back-to-back years, and, it's hard to see the light at the end of the tunnel where are we ever going to see the Cowboys play in a Super Bowl game? I mean, they're really far from it. Yeah, it's tough. And, we could talk about the players. We could talk about the coaches. We can talk about Dak. We could talk about Mike. We could talk about all this kind of stuff, or Micah, whatever. But I really do believe, and every time the Chiefs win the Super Bowl, and they've won in the past 2 years, what I'm always fascinated by is the Super Bowl moment where they present the trophy, and the owner for the Chiefs goes up. And he's a very polite man. Never met him before, but from what I've seen, and I've seen him back-to-back years up there, you could just tell by his demeanor, and I'm talking about Clark Hunt, how humble he is, how smart he is, how educated he is, how selfless he is. And you could hear it in his speech, thanking the players, thanking the coaches, thanking the fans. And you just, it's almost like a carbon copy of these back-to-back years, hearing his speeches and then hearing the one from the first time that they won. And, again, we could talk about the players. We could talk about the coaches. We could talk about all of that. But you want to know what I do know? We've had Dak Prescott. We haven't gotten past the divisional round. We've had Tony Romo. We haven't gotten past the divisional round. Okay, different quarterbacks. We've had different running backs. Marion Barber, Tony Pollard, Ezekiel Elliott, DeMarco Murray. Okay, different wide receivers. Des Bryant, CeeDee Lamb. Different tight ends. Jason Witten. List goes on. It's not the players. We've changed that. We've changed that recipe, and we've ended with the same result. What about the coaches? Right? Mike McCarthy. Oh, well, we had Jason Garrett. And if you want to go back further, we had Bill Parcells, Chan Gailey, Dave Campo. Okay, maybe it's not the coaches. Maybe it's the offensive coordinators, right? No? Jason Garrett, Sean Linehan. Maybe it's the defensive coordinators, right? Different defensive coordinators that have come and gone with this organization. It's all been changed. It's all been swapped out. We've seen different people come in. Great players, talented players, Pro Bowlers, first-team All-Pro players, Hall of Fame players even, with DeMarcus Ware being inducted recently. And you want to know what the common denominator is? It's the Jones family. I'm not going to single out Jerry. It's the Jones family. And when I see Clark Hunt go up there, he seems just like you could see the fruit of his leadership. Knowing I'm probably not the best guy to be making these football decisions, I understand my place as an owner, is that I probably need to reach out and give this handle to other people, to other players, to other pieces in this team and this franchise in the best interest of the team. And it's a selfless and humble thing to do, is say, someone probably knows more than I do about this, and I'm going to trust that more than I trust myself. And I'm not going to let ego get in the way of that. Look, I'm not going to be dark and grim and say that the Cowboys would have a chance at a Super Bowl if we're subtracting the Jones family. That's too dark. That's too grim. But I do believe there's a systemic issue with this franchise and the organization and how the Dallas Cowboys run themselves as a football team. And it is pretty apparent when you look at the history and the facts and the stats that I just gave you now. Different players, different coaches, different stadiums. It all leads back to a common denominator, which is the Jones family. And to be a successful organization, to win a Super Bowl, it's the ultimate achievement for a team, for an organization, top to bottom. Everyone needs to be excellent, And that starts up with the person who owns the team. I'm not going to come up here and tell you how to fix it because I don't know how to fix it, and that's way above my pay grade. But I'm telling you, it's obvious by process of elimination and stats and facts and what I've seen for the past 27 years, that's the issue. And when you compare it to other organizations who have gone to the Super Bowl, won the Super Bowl, you could see it night and day what the problem is. And it's unfortunate. And it's something I signed up for. I'm your unbiased and realistic Cowboys fan. I'm a fan till I die, man. I'm a fan for life. I will always be. But it's impossible, in my opinion, to believe that we will win one in my lifetime. That's where I'm at. That's what this season has taught me. That's what these past 3 seasons have taught me. This excruciating disappointment from the playoffs. You know, like we've started over. We've hit the reset button a couple times, different quarterbacks, different coaches, and we've ended up in the same place, never getting even one step closer. And you know what? The more that we can realize the Cowboys are more focused about their business opportunities, the more you can be relaxed and expect disappointment. This is terrible. But, you know, the Oscar season's coming up, right? I'm a big movie buff. You got to this is the way I see it. There are movies out there that are made and they understand what it takes to be nominated for an Oscar, to win an Oscar, right? And, you know, there's films out there that don't compete in the Oscars. You know, they don't compete at the Academy Awards. Then they're box office hits, right? I think of the Dallas Cowboys as the comic book genre, the superhero movie genre. They're fun. They make a lot of money. They bring in a huge draw of fans around the world. But to think that those comic book superhero movies are going to win Best Picture at the Oscars, that's not their focus. That's not their primary reason for being there. They're there for a different reason. And that's your Dallas Cowboys. They are here for good entertainment. They're not there to win you MVP or Offensive Player of the Year. They're there to win you Moment of the Year because that's what they're built like. That's who they are at their essence. And like I told you, it starts from the top and it works all its way to the bottom. So if your owner is looking for all the opportunities to monetize the star, it will trickle and infiltrate every employee of that organization, from the beat writers to the reporters to the coaches to the head coach and to the players. And that's what we've seen the past few seasons. It's horrible. It's awful. But if you like the Dallas Cowboys and if you're a football fan, just know your priorities and your hopes and dreams for this team making it to the Super Bowl and winning one to make it 6 are very unlikely, because we have an organization that is led by a family and a person that don't value those. They can say it, and they say it every year, but that is specifically just for some of those hopeful fans. The Dallas Cowboys are meant to entertain, to make money, to draw the largest audience, and nothing more. They'll never walk away with the gold. I'm realizing that in my 27 years of living. And they're too scared to hit the reset button because they're scared of what that would do to their finances. They are so scared of going to those Dave Campos days, those 5-11 days. They are so scared to go to that because it would make them irrelevant. So that's why you're not going to see a massive overhaul unless they absolutely have to. But this offseason, you're not going to see a massive overhaul. You're going to see a few things here and there to make this team seem somewhat interesting enough for the fans. And that's it. And that's all I got to say. That's what Super Bowl 58 reminded me of. Terrific game. Mahomes is incredible. Chiefs have a winning formula that has made them a dynasty. Cowboys at one point were a dynasty, And that's because Jerry had to get this team to a winning level in the 90s to be relevant. So that's why you saw him do anything and everything possible to get there. But now we have reached a place of complacency. And it's good enough for him just to be talked about, just to be mentioned, but never walk away champions. That's all I got to say. Tell me what you think. And I'll see you guys later. Go Cowboys.
Prescott